Can anyone hear me? Can you guys hear me? I don't even know if this thing's working. Anyway, just give it a minute for people to get into the chat. Just give it a minute. Oops, sorry. People to get into the chat. Just give it a minute. Oops, sorry. People to get into the chat. Shut up. Stupid radio. I mean, stupid TV. Stupid TV. Dummy. Anyway, I'm waiting to see if... Alright, I'm assuming people can hear me now. Yeah, isn't this guy like... He's super handsome, this dude. I mean, he's just like every one of these mass murderers. You know, they're all handsome. You know. You know, what? I wish I could say what I want to say, man. You can't even make fun of people's, you know, the way people look anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's probably not even, who knows if it's even a real image, you know? We have to see the guy's face first. I'm sure every guy walks around with leaves on his neck, you know, vines and leaves. It's just so ridiculous, man. Actually, you know what? He looks Armenian. I've seen a few Armenians look like this. Because you know I'm Armenian, right? Anyway, we're just waiting. Let's see what we got here, folks. I taped a bunch of stuff, so I don't even know where I'm at. I think I taped like 40 different shows. Wait, 7-4, right? Yeah, there it is. This is the first one. Let's just watch all of them.
It's awful. I mean, the video we're seeing on social media of kids hopping up off the curb and running because they're hearing gunshots. She described the bike and pet parade, little kids and their dogs. And now this...
Pet parade? Wait a minute. Pet parade is the pee-pee.
Anywhere or has any hostages. That has been kind of circling around. There is no indication of that. Investigators are very, very quickly working to try to identify who this person is and try to figure out where he's at.
I'll get back to this dude later.
But you don't have a very good description, and that's why they're appealing to the public right away. But I'm sure they're reviewing fixed video, which is, you know, ubiquitous in cities these days and around businesses and residences even. So, I mean, all of that is going to come pouring in, and they're going to have, the challenge is going to be to sift through that, find the best high-resolution photo, and get it out there quickly.
Chris, you know, you mentioned that he wasn't kitted out.
That dude, he's a sharpshooter. Yeah, right. He's more like a rabbi. A rabbi sharpshooter.
Kitted out is how you said. He didn't have the armor on him, which we see actually, unfortunately, in a lot of these mass shootings. But we also heard from authorities.
It's the rabbi SWAT team. What is the theme to that show SWAT? Isn't it dun 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 dun?
The vantage point was from up on a roof. Could that be because the suspect felt protected from being up high? Does this indicate to you that there's an element of expertise when it comes to a weapon? Anything you're getting out of this?
Yeah, I noted that with some interest, and I wondered at the very beginning if this was a sniper situation, and that is exactly what it is. When you're up in a tall area that has or a tall place where you have a command of the area, then it's a sniper situation, and we haven't seen much of this really. We see shooters rampaging through on the ground, but we haven't seen a situation where they took a vantage point like a sniper would and just take their time and shoot up the whole area. I think.
Don't be surprised, because you know this happened on the 600 block of Central, I think. Don't be surprised if the guy who went into the building, it was 614. Because, you know, I told you 614 is the Trump's birthday. And today is connected to August 4th, this day. I'll tell you why. Because August 4th is 7 months, 4 days into the year. Okay, if you count from the first of the year to August 4th, it's 7 months, 4 days into the year. So that's why 7-4 is also 8-4.
Las Vegas. So it may indicate some expertise. It just may indicate that this person, you know, had some pre-planning and had enough faculty.
Because I told you Trump's going to get his head wound on 8-4, right? Oops, what happened? Oh, it finished. This was stupid anyway. Anyway, Trump's going to get his head wound on 8-4. That's why 7-4 connects to 8-4.
Again, it stood out to me that once again we have what has been.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at that black lady with a gun. Look out.
White male under the age of 20 involved in another mass shooting in this.
Oh, did you hear what this creature's saying about a white dude? Look, listen.
Described as a white male under the age of 20 involved in another mass shooting in this country, the 308th we've had this year. So it's another very sad and tragic incident, certainly grieving for the community and for all those involved, but recognize they have a high sense of urgency to find this person and prevent others from being at risk.
Presumably, police have a better sense of some of the details than they were willing to share in that news conference. For example, you heard one of the officers and officials there asked, was that rifle that was recovered found on the rooftop? In other words, how are they able to pinpoint this shooter's location? They didn't get into some of these details. That is fairly standard in an investigation, particularly in the early hours like this, no?
Absolutely correct. I mean, they'll probably try to put out as much information that's, one, accurate, and that, two, helps provide for public safety, but also not give so much details away that it prevents, prosecution when that does become available, or if that does become available, and does not give too much information to our suspect in case they are holed up someplace watching events unfold on the news. So they have to have all those things that are in consideration.
I was struck by the statement that they believe this shooting was, in their words, completely random. At this 4th of July parade, somebody firing on the crowd from up above, from a rooftop, 6 people dead, 24 in the hospital, and no idea at this point what the motive may be.
Well, that's right. It's still very early on. A lot of chaos, as you can imagine, as people are stampeding out of the area for their own safety, and officers are trying to deal with the injured and the wounded, but also locate the suspect. So it's going to take a little time to get all the details and gather things up at this point.
One of the things I was speaking about with one of our other MSNBC analysts, Jim Kavanaugh, were events in the area, because at this point, police have described a shelter in place. They've described now an active incident and this ongoing manhunt for this person. Would it be appropriate, in your view, for other areas to be canceling events?
Just to let you know, they already caught the guy. He's already caught. He's in custody.
On the roof of, we don't know what building here, but obviously surveying what's going on below. This is just from a couple of minutes ago, just
to let you know, I know you guys can't see it, but over here it says Port, P-O-R-T, Clinton Square, and it's 600 Central. So it's on the 600 block, this incident, and it's Port Clinton Square. And Clinton was the 42nd president.
I don't know if you can actually see the footage that we're showing, but our viewers can. You talked about video, surveillance video, anything from businesses that may be on the scene. Presumably police are either accessing that, have access to it, or are working to get access to it, right? Considering the description that they have of the shooter that is, just to remind people, white male between the ages roughly of 18 and 20, smaller build, dark hair, a white or blue t-shirt. No picture yet.
That's correct. And all of the above. They will be accessing those cameras, locating and contacting business.
You know what really gets on my nerves more than anything? Out of all the things, out of all the lies that they're telling, It's the fact that they have an LGBTQ. Why is the butt plugger flag up? I don't understand. Why? It's not Pride Month. What is going on? Why do they have that up there?
Holiday that may delay it slightly. I don't know, but they'll be trying to locate as much video footage as possible. Sometimes there are buses in the area or taxi cabs that also have video going. They can pull that as well to see if they can get any information about a vehicle fleeing the scene or something like that that might lead to a tidbit to locate the shooter.
We're watching some of this new video now coming in, and it's, you see the chairs still there from people who had posted up just to spend their morning, right? Spend their day watching a 4th of July parade with their family. And yet, even in these moments, right, something like this could still happen and did still happen in this community today.
Yeah, that's correct. It's very tragic and very sad. We've had so many mass shootings in this country. And even though there is this proliferation of guns and gun violence, we all feel relatively safe in our communities and we want to feel that way. But unfortunately, at any time, any of us could be at risk.
Shut up.
And specifically, we know that a rifle, they said, was recovered at the scene. They did not specify whether the suspected shooter has other weapons, whether they believe he does. They do consider him armed and dangerous, but couldn't speak to anything beyond this particular rifle. You hear that there was a rifle involved. You hear that there were 6 people dead. You hear that there are 24 people in the hospital with what were described in that news conference as serious injuries. What does that tell you about this shooting that you can surmise using your expertise?
I can't listen to this anymore. It's driving me nuts.
Being with us, how are you? Where are you?
I'm in my mother's house in Highland Park, in the 200 block of Highland Park, and I think the shooting was around in the 600 block, so it's just a few blocks away, and we're sheltering in place in my mom's house.
Tell me what happened. What did you see and what did you hear?
We were running a little bit late today, and so we were walking down an alley, and we were going to sit on St. John's. St. John's intersects with Central. And I guess the shooting was on Central, but we were around the corner by St. John's, and we heard shots. It didn't register to me that they were shots. But then people started running. All these people were running at us, and they were screaming that there's a shooter.
Look at her name. Look at this creature's name. Kristen Carlson. It's got the sun in the name, man. And of course, it's the Christ in the 10. That's right. Because, Jesus was the only begot 10. Okay? You understand? Christ was only begot 10.
Run. And then the sirens were so loud, and just people just running at us, and then we were running.
You've never run in your life, creature.
And then there were some people who weren't necessarily from the immediate area, and we gave them shelter in the backyard. And eventually everyone got home. They were picked up.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I saw. I could hear sirens. There's a helicopter going overhead because the shooter's on the loose. And they're looking for him. And so we can hear the helicopter overhead. I don't live here anymore, but I'm afraid to get in my car and go back home.
Yeah.
So we're just hiding here in my mom's house.
And police have given that shelter in place. I know you have 2 young children, Kristen. Are they with you? Where are they?
I actually don't have 2 young children. I have...
This is look at, these 2 are the actors. These 2. He's the what do they call it? The Latino stereo, the Latino cool dude. And she's the tough black girl. You know what I mean?
20-year-old and a 17-year-old, and
got it. I'm
17-year-old
sorry.
was with me.
Okay,
We were helping young children try to reunite with their families.
got it. Tell me more about that. Were there kids that had been separated from their families?
Oh, yes, because people just ran and they just left their stuff and people just were running. It was terrifying, and you could see the terror on their faces. And I know that I helped a little boy named Andrew. I helped him get back with his family.
How did you do that? So his family disappeared and left a kid there.
And there was another little boy who maybe was 7, and he was by himself, and another little boy of about the same age came over to him and said,
3 boys.
"What's your name?" And he said, "My name is Blake." And that little boy said, "Blake, run, come with me." And the little boy's family took Blake and they ran. They were just running, and then Blake's mom was panicked and looking for him. She didn't know where he was, and I don't know where he ended up. But I think he was safe, and I know this family was taking good care of him, and I know that there are children who were separated from their families, and local families are trying to reunite those kids.
She can't even muster up a tear.
It struck me that these kids were little, like between 7 and 10, and they were so composed. I mean, they were scared. They had terrified looks on their faces, but they were so composed because they'd been through active shooter drills and they knew what to do.
Oh, man. I can't take it. Oops. Sorry, folks. Hold on. I had it hanging from... I had the... On the...
It's...
The phone fell, folks. Hold on.
The panic and the terror.
It was hanging by a piece of tape.
These families were feeling is in some ways.
What happened to... Oh, man. All my paperwork flew and everything.
To your mom's place.
Hold on, folks.
Maybe it
Let me
doesn't.
tape it back up.
Wow. And you all just wanted to get just to get to someplace safe, just to be
Hold
somewhere
on.
away from the parade route, to be somewhere safe.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and it wasn't necessarily confirmed at the time that it was.
I don't know what I did here. Hold on.
That was the word that was
Yeah.
people were spreading, and we probably should have hidden the house. We didn't even think about that. We stayed in the yard. There were probably a dozen people, and eventually people came to pick them up.
At what point do you think you will feel safe, Kristen, heading out, leaving your mom's house?
When I get my paycheck.
Especially considering what we know from law enforcement, which is that this suspected shooter is still.
I feel safe when I get my paycheck.
I don't know, like, if they catch him. I mean, I honestly don't know. I don't know a way to get out of here. Go near the shooting. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know how long I'll be here. I hope that they catch him and then we'll feel safer leaving, but I don't know what to say.
Having covered too many of these, Kristen, and like you, having watched too many of these happen, these awful shootings, one thing that I often hear people say is, I never thought it could happen here, right? I never thought in my community it could happen. Do you feel that way? Is this unimaginable to you? Or is there a sense, given what we've seen unfold in this country over the last several years, that this was a potential? I see that. Kristen, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm looking at your I'm sorry. I'm looking at your shot. I think it has frozen, Kristen. Let me see if we can get you back at all. Okay. I want to thank Kristen Carlson, who was with us there.
Heard the police say that there's an...
Look, it's a Highland PP shooting. Look, the Highland PP. Highland Park Parade. Oh, this thing. Hold on, folks. Let me see if I can fix this thing. Hold on. No, I made it worse. I can't. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to make it better. Hold on, folks. I got to put something underneath this to make it stay. Let me put a couple of pennies under the leg of this stand right here. Let's see if that helps. I know how to Mickey Mouse stuff, that's for sure. I'm gonna delete this video anyway, I don't care. Okay, how the heck? What do I gotta do to fix this thing? Oh, well, that's as good as it's gonna get, man. Sorry.
In our community, looking for this shooter, but
you see the 33 right there. Look, there was a couple of 33s, but you know what? They had a bunch of numbers. So just because we see 133 is not a big deal.
Throughout the area who is that.
Look.
In our
who moves around like this? You know, with their cameras.
He is still large, not just here in Highland Park.
Anyway, that fire truck had the 33 on it.
Being canceled, all because someone decided to.
And look, this guy, Representative Brad Schneider. And by the way, this is a Jewish community. Poor Jews. We really feel sorry for them. They don't deserve this. No. It's a Jewish community where this happened.
If the hair on the back of your neck goes up, you're right. Call it.
Hair on the back of your neck? What about the hair on a Jew's wiener? What happens then? You call the police if it stands up. If the hair on their wiener stands up, call the police.
And let them verify if that's a valid issue. Because if you think back to the Boston bombing case, it was in the backyard hiding in a boat where they eventually found that person. And that's to remember here that person that committed this heinous act to them. And I know all Americans are angry as they turn on the news right now. His world is shrinking. And even
shrinking?
More often than not, will turn their back on him. And I am sure that as details come out, somebody will be calling up now and saying, you know, somebody said something the other day, I didn't take it seriously.
This Dermot Shea, he's like the chief of police of New York, he was. And Shea, S-H-E-A equals 33. This guy sounds like a Seinfeld character. Have you ever seen the episode where this weird dude went out with Elaine once? And he was... I can't explain it. He sounds just like that dude.
Here's what I know, and it's tips like that that often help law enforcement.
Yeah. I want to bring in Jim Cabot.
Anyway, who cares?
We are, of course, covering the breaking news, this manhunt happening right now for the man who opened fire at a July 4th parade in Highland Park, Illinois. He's described as...
What do you mean the title 6 dead is 614? Oh, DEAD equals 14? Oh, that's a good catch. I didn't even notice that. 6 dead, huh? 614. That's a good catch.
Dangerous. At least 6 people are dead. More than 24 have been taken to hospitals. Now, at a briefing a short time ago, police described this suspect.
The suspect is currently described as a male white.
Look at this dude. His name is Christopher. Commander Christopher, the CC. It's got the Christ again. Look, and he's got the O'Neill. C-O-N, the word con, or S-O-N is son. And L-I-E for lie.
Approximately 18 to 20 years old, with longer black hair, a small build, and wearing a white or blue t-shirt. A firearm has been recovered from the scene.
It does appear he was shooting from a roof. The roof.
And they bring out Bradley Pooper Scooper's stupid weirdo brother, Chris Corvelli. He's got the CC. Bradley Pooper Scooper. That's what his name is.
Was shooting from, I don't have that information right now.
We now know that the FBI is assisting in this investigation, and authorities are asking, of course, anyone with video to contact Highland Park Police. We've known that video in situations like this has been crucial. CNN's Adrian Broadus was near the scene when the shooting happened. Adrian, tell us what you know.
Well, Victor, this parade route has become a crime. You notice people have left all of their belongings, but I want to show you the sense of urgency at this hour. Up on the roof of this building in downtown Highland Park, you see snipers on top of the building. This, as members of law enforcement tell us, they still do not know where that 18 to 20-year-old suspect is. As we've been telling you throughout the morning and now afternoon, at least 6 people have died and more than 24 others injured. I spoke with folks who were here at the parade. One man told me he was using his cell phone to tape or video record the band that was passing by. The minute he stopped recording, he said those shots rang out. I spoke with another woman a short time ago, Zoe. She was here with her family. This is what she described. Listen in.
I've been going to this parade since I was a little kid, and I just moved back from Phoenix, Arizona. And my dad and I wanted to come here again as like a thing of father-daughter camaraderie. And we got here nice and early for the pet parade and the kids parade, front row, right across from Walker Brothers in Port Clinton. About, a little bit after the band went through, we hear, and probably heard 50 rounds in total, at least. Everyone thought it was fireworks. Everyone's like, oh, fireworks, or, the military people had just gone through with the shotguns. And I was like, something's wrong. I grabbed my dad and started running. All of a sudden, everyone behind us started running. I looked back, probably 20 feet away from me. I saw a girl shot and killed. The girl I've heard on the news in blood. Saw her die.
What did she just say? What?
Sudden, everyone behind us started running. I looked back, probably 20 feet away from me. I saw a girl shot and killed. The girl I've heard on the news in blood.
The girl I forgot in the news? What the hell are they talking about? There was no girl on the news.
Sudden, everyone behind us started running. I looked back, probably 20 feet away from me. I saw a girl shot and killed. The girl I've heard on the news in blood. Saw her die. I've never seen anything like this.
Did anyone on any news program see any girl who died? I didn't see it. Did anyone see it?
About an hour, and then the police got us into Uncle Dan's Sporting Goods, where we hid in the basement for, I don't know how long it was. Time's kind of a blur at this point, but we hid there until the cops finally escorted us back to our car. They were wonderful. They drove us back to our car. But I mean, there were people that we were hiding with. One man had been shot in the head, like his ear. He was bleeding all over his face. He was just like, I'm just happy that's all that happened. There was another girl that got escorted out, was shot in the leg. We were just hiding in this basement for quite a while. But yeah, we were right in the center. I mean, someone 20 feet away, someone just.
And Zoe said she's never seen anything like this. This is something nobody should ever.
Zoe, more like zoo creature.
And back here, we are along the parade route. And as we were mentioning earlier, chairs. You see a child's chair left behind. I see
child's chairs, CC. So, CC. And then look, they had the WW on there. That's a 3-3 also. If you turned it sideways, it's 3-3.
A wagon with a child's sippy cup on it. People left their belongings as they.
A sippy cup. Sippy has the pee-pee.
Told me that family that she was hiding with had children. The father asked her to watch over his children while he went to go search for other members of his family. But before leaving, Zoe said he put his child inside of the dumpster for protection. I want you to let that sink in. A father who felt helpless in that moment found safety in a dumpster because of a disgusting thing that happened along this parade route. Investigators have described that suspect as an 18 to 20-year-old male. They say he is a white.
Wait till I show you the guy who put his kid into the trash can, into the dumpster. Now let me ask you something. If you're a man, could you ever, come on national TV and tell the whole world you put your kid into a dumpster? Now look, I'm not saying that. Let's just say somebody was chasing you with a gun, and somehow the only place to hide was a dumpster. I don't know, but I'm not saying that couldn't happen, but I know one thing: you would not see me come on TV and say, you know what, I threw my kid into a dumpster. I think that's like some kind of Roe versus Wade thing, where they have abortions and throw kids into dumpsters. Get it? I think that's what they're implying there.
Care of by.
I can't even. This is some girl with an ankle injury. And look at Uncle Fester's a hero. Look at him.
And began setting up a inner and outer perimeter, and also requested additional outside staging area here at the fire station on Central Avenue. And we continue to obtain information or gather information to try to coordinate who was doing the shooting and where that person was last seen. Firearm evidence was located on a rooftop of a nearby business that was secured. Suspect description that we had at the time was supervisor handled city-wide command for any other incidents, and then we had a commander assigned here at the fire station for the command post.
Most important.
See the big 33 behind him? They had that over there the whole time while they were doing the command, at the news press, whatever the hell they're doing. 33 and 34 equals 67. Elvis equals 67.
Most importantly, as far as the investigative aspect goes of this, and this is two-pronged at this time.
I know I've seen this dude as some actor in a TV show, and he's got the CC for the 33, and he's got the EL in his name. Covelli, C. Covelli. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's hard to see.
We are aggressively looking for the individual who's responsible for the shooting. Number two, we have the criminal investigation that is occurring simultaneously. We're asking anybody with any video surveillance that they may have, please review your cell phones if you were snapping pictures in the area of 2nd and Central today. That could help investigators. They may see something in there that may be useful and allow them to proceed further with the investigation. Any business owners in that area, we're asking, please review your video surveillance. If you have any video surveillance of that area at that time, even if you don't see anything in there, we would love to be able to take a look at that so we can further our investigation. Again, the FBI is working in
I think he's just answering questions here. Just stupid questions from fake reporters.
Hospital. The parade was roughly 3/4 of the way over when this person started shooting from a rooftop location.
On Fox News Live, I'm Rich Edson.
And I'm Alicia Acuna. It happened at a parade in the Chicago suburb of Highland Park. The suspected shooter remains at large, and we're getting...
Look, it's the same two again, you see? These are the actors, folks. The black and Mexican cop are the actors.
The moment people at that parade realized that there was a shooting going on. Chief breaking news correspondent Trace Gallagher joins us now from Los Angeles. And Trace, we've covered so many of these shootings.
Yep.
What makes this one unique?
You know, it's interesting, Alicia, if you go back to that video you just played there, that's kind of a big description of what happened here. And police lost a little bit of time at that because you can see some of the people in that video are actually reacting to the gunshots right away. But a lot of other...
You know, there's 8 million people with cameras everywhere, but they get a guy who can't even hold his stupid camera straight. You know, every time, same old story. Later on, I'm going to show you a different video.
Throughout the day of people that are still sitting there because they think they're hearing fireworks, they think it's all part of the show, and they waited before they left. It's interesting to me that as you go forward in this investigation, they have the gun. The gun is a key part of this, and we've been notified now that the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms is now taking a very close look at this gun. In fact, they are tracing what they call the life of the weapon. They want to find out who owned this first.
Oh, look. See, there's a guy over there. There's a guy in the background. Watch this. Look right here. This guy. Way back there. He was telling everyone, run. It's hard to see it, I know, from where you guys are watching. But he was telling everyone to run.
Who owned this first, if somebody subsequently owned this, and they will find that out, and then they will go and visit that person or message that person. And then if there's a second owner, they will message that person. So at the very least, within the next hour.
Look, the guy who took this video on this side says Jesse Jesus Salazar. Jesus. It's Jesse Jesus Salazar.
Or at least the authorities will, about who owned this gun and when and how it possibly got into the hands of potentially an 18 to 20-year-old white male who went up on the roof and opened fire on a parade route. The video here, at least...
Wait, I can't take this video. It's absolute nonsense. Let me see if there's anything other. No, there's nothing in that one.
Video evidence from the scene or area or
Look at the corner. Look at the corner.
Identified, and we are working on notifying.
Somebody exhumed her body, I think, and put her in front of the microphone. Look at this creature. Look at his glasses on this creature. I don't want her doing...
There are 5 dead on the scene. Those decedents have been identified, and we are working on notification for those families. There is 1 additional decedent that was taken to a local hospital. Thank you.
Her name is Bannock. Jennifer Bannock.
Very active investigation, and we'll try to answer what questions we can without negatively impacting the investigation. I can tell you our investigators, in collaboration with the FBI and our federal partners, are making significant progress. So we're moving forward, and that's where we're at right now.
Deputy Chief, were you able to find anything off the gun that was left, numbers or anything that was backed up where this might have come from?
The gun is certainly being heavily investigated by the ATF, our federal partners, and we are working on that aspect.
Can you tell us what kind of gun it was?
Right now, what we're saying is it's a high-powered rifle. Beyond that, I'm not going to go into much more. Eventually, we will, when we feel comfortable releasing that information without giving out.
See, there's his name. Deputy Chief Christopher Covelli. The CC for the 3-3. It's got triple C. Chief.
Information we don't want out there at this point, we will put that out.
This is a question for Bannock.
Yes.
Can you tell us exactly, you said you were able to identify them. Are they children? Do the ages range?
I can tell you that the decedents on scene were adults.
Is there an update on how many are in the hospital? We're sure there might be more than...
I can't even hear their stupid questions. I can't take it. I have no patience for this, folks. They might have said something interesting, but I just don't have the patience to listen to it. Look, notice it happened right near a railroad crossing. RR 1818. That's the Elvis twins that were born on 1/8. You see that? It happened at the crossroad. Because R is the 18th letter.
To be less to produce the guy, which is what they want now, than the real physical shoe leather, 1 foot in front of the other, with hundreds of cops on the ground.
I believe that we still have Frank Faguzzi with us. And Frank, if you are still with
Frank Faguzzi? What in the hell?
Question for you, which is, we know we're going to hear another press conference from officials about 5:15 my time, 4:15 in Chicago. What is it you still want to hear from them? What are the pieces of information that are currently missing?
Yeah, so first, I want to echo Jim's comments with regard to the professionalism we're seeing and how this is being handled. And you can see the difference between a major metropolitan area, we're talking about the greater Chicago area, and the way they're trained and the way they're handling press conferences, giving out what needs to be given out and not saying what they shouldn't say, and the massive response here. And it's sad but true that it does matter in America where you live in terms of the professional response and the speed with which someone could be apprehended. But look, I would not be surprised if at the next press conference.
Why did I record this? Why did I record 10 minutes of this? What's the reason? There has to be something else on here. Oh, maybe it was because of that creature. Oh, let's see what this was. I didn't hear, I don't know what this guy said, but let's listen a little bit. He's a doctor, I think.
We have someone from the hospital who's holding a press conference. Let's take a listen.
Mass shooting or casualty event. Our team very quickly activated one of our internal messaging codes called Code Yellow, which is for mass casualty and trauma response, to mobilize our surgical teams, to bring in other resources, and within a very short amount of time started to receive a number of ambulances from the emergency.
Yeah, this place must have like 1 million doctors for them to have time to come out and talk. You know what I mean? I mean, shouldn't you idiots be at work? Stupid pieces of...
The system. We received in total about 26 total patients, 10 of which were transported by ambulance. During that time, in a very short amount of time, we had nearly 20 additional physicians and more than 20 additional nursing and support staff here in our emergency department, as well as in other areas of the hospital, to help take care of the patients that were brought in. And all of those individuals came as a result of following our protocols. We also put in a extra safety or security protocol where we locked down the
This dude's got some trippy eyes, man.
Extra safety or security protocol where we locked down.
His eyes are like, I don't know, you guys. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Meeting out here in the parking lot as we continue to try to maintain a very safe environment in our hospital for our patients and our staff. So, of the 26 individuals that showed up here at Highland Park Hospital, 25 of those did sustain gunshot wound injuries. Some of them were minor, some of them were much more severe, and some of those patients were in critical condition when they did arrive here to the hospital. They were all different parts of the body, extremities as well as other more central parts of the body as well.
Do you have any specific number on what conditions those 25
Yeah, so of the 25 who came in with gunshot wounds, 19 of those individuals were able to be treated and actually discharged home after they had had their full medical evaluation and treatment. Several others did arrive in more serious conditions and did have to be admitted. We had one that had to be transferred over to Evanston Hospital under the care of our great neurosurgical team. We had a couple of other patients that need to be admitted to either our trauma surgical team, which are represented here, as well as to some of our orthopedic trauma surgeons.
Doctor, could you give us an age range of the people?
Absolutely. So the age range ranged from about 8 years old was our youngest patient, up to 85 years old.
How many children?
I can't give you a specific number on the number of children, but it was definitely around 4 or 5.
What happens in an emergency room when you get that many gunshot victims?
They said the 45 with the 8 and 85. I'm surprised they didn't say 884, you know.
We immediately have to make space for all these patients to come in, and hence why I commented before how we use some internal processes to mobilize resources. Our wonderful...
yeah, you got that fake stethoscope. He probably uses it with his boyfriend, you know. They tie each other up with their stethoscopes. Or they whip each other with it.
And trauma staff were immediately alerted through emergency.
Let me listen to the beat of your wiener.
That we had a number of patients that were going to need emergency medical services and their evaluation. On top of that, many other emergency physicians, pediatricians, internists, surgeons, trauma surgeons, anesthesiologists, and others were also notified and mobilized to help take care of the number of patients that were coming in.
Your staff was, of course, picking up. What is this like? Have to do with
Well, I think, listen, there's been a lot of different events that have happened in the United States, and this obviously now has hit very close to home. It is a little surreal to have to take care of an event such as this, but all of us have gone through extensive training. We go through...
This was, you know, obviously this was filmed during the active shooting drills. You know what I'm saying?
Of different programs, training, we practice for these events, even though we hope they never happen. And so I think our team very admirably handled the situation today. Of course, we provide services that include social work, and we have others involved that our team...
Even his teeth don't look real. Like, his teeth do not look real.
Patients will have a chance to talk to therapists and counselors to debrief after something that is so traumatic.
And Dr. Anyone has a loved one in the hospital, they know, or have families all been notified?
So families have all had the opportunity to actually come into the hospital and wait. We had liaisons working with those family members, and all of those family members have been reunited with the patients that were here and treated at our North Shore hospitals.
From the nursing staff that perhaps might want to talk?
Does anybody from the nursing staff want to talk? Come on up. So this is Barb Croak. She's one of our emergency medicine nurses.
Wait
She
till you
also
see
does
his
a number
creature's
of
name.
administrative roles here at North Shore and has a wealth of...
You know what? I'll show it to you later. Oh, no, I'll show it now. Let's see what the creature has to say.
Good afternoon.
Tell us what it's like.
So we have an amazing team of nurses who every day give 1,000% of their time and talent to their profession. They all immediately go into emergency mode, and they are trained in trauma and pediatric care as well. They have extensive training. They're amazing people. They showed their proof in COVID, and now with this absolutely upsetting and tragic mass shooting, they came to the call to duty. They were fantastic. Multiple nurses taking care of one patient at a time because there's family members. Emotional support is needed, advanced trauma care, advanced emergency care, EMS personnel. So amazing squad of nurses, very proud of them. I'm very, very thrilled to call them my colleagues.
Yes.
Just like 26 patients in taking care, 25 and then 19
Yeah, so actually we had two patients that were transferred to Evanston, one of them to get further neurosurgical care. One of them was also a pediatric patient, and so our inpatient pediatric.
Oh, let's see. Who is this doctor? He reminds me of Norman Bates. Can you imagine him walking in?
Orthopedic care. With me is Dr. Talamonte and Dr. Andy Agos, who helps run our trauma surgery program.
Let go my Agos. His name is, what was this dude's name?
That they made, the time in which they arrived to help support and take care of these patients was absolutely phenomenal.
Dr. Talamonte, can we speak to you first? Sure. You were on site with the initial call.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what happened.
I got a text message that there had been a mass shooting in Highland Park, and can I call Highland Park Hospital, which I did, and talked to the chief of surgery there, John Lynn, who was actually out of town but got the first call. And when I heard that there was a mass shooting, I made sure that we had.
We're going to bring you now to the White House, where we expect.
Cry. 1976, a remote in time. Their meaning is real and vivid and continually unfolding. Don't worry, we got babies at home. It's okay. Children are allowed to cry. For America is always becoming, always on the move, always a work in progress. That's a key word, a key idea, a keynote in the life of our nation. Progress, forward motion, the creation of possibilities, the fulfillment of promises. That's the American story. And you all know well, it's not a simple one. It never has been. It's often been the case that after we've taken giant steps forward.
Shut up. I don't know. I didn't hear what you said.
Over the American project.
That's why I'm just listening, but I'm going to move forward.
Where we debate and disagree, yet we're united by a love of country. And as it's been before in our history, in times of war and division, of growth and change, the 4th of July comes at a critical moment. Our economy is growing, but not without pain. You all heard what happened. You all heard what happened today. But each day we're reminded there's nothing guaranteed about our democracy. Nothing guaranteed about our way of life. We have to fight for it, defend it, and earn it by voting. To refine, evolve, and extend the calling of America to move forward boldly and unafraid. And this day reminds us of what brought us together long ago, what binds us still, and at our best, what we strive for. American truth. It's the greatest honor to serve as your commander-in-chief. The Declaration of our independence, ensure that America is forever a place not marked by the thirst for power at any cost.
Shut up.
Another senseless mass shooting here in America. It was earlier today as families gathered to celebrate Independence Day, as they do across this entire country in towns large and small. This one in a suburb about 30 minutes north of Chicago, a suburb known as Highland Park, where a shooter opened fire on the town's parade from a rooftop along the route. It started this morning at about 10:14 Central Time. A gunman standing atop the roof of a local business shot into the parade and spectators using what authorities have been calling a high-powered rifle. Police say 6 people have been killed, and according to local health officials, at least 26 were hospitalized, 25 of those with gunshot wounds.
What is that? What is that? What is that little Mexican dude
business
doing?
shot into the parade and spectators using what authority.
What's in this? What is this guy's wearing? His pants. He's got like pads in his pants.
High-powered rifle.
He's got like
Police
weird
say 6
stuff in his
people have been
pants.
killed.
This dude.
According to local health officials, at least 26 were hospitalized.
I don't know what the on his. It looks like he had thigh pads.
Now, just moments ago, as you might have seen, police announced they now have a suspect, Robert Lgbtqcrimo III, age 22.
We'll get to the shooter later. You see the Jewish music? There's Fiddler on the back of a truck. Fiddler on the roof, get it? Fiddler on the rooftop shooter. I'm surprised they didn't play Fiddler on the Roof.
Laying the violence.
Look, everybody's running, but they don't tell the guy on the truck, hey, there's a shooter back there, and he's coming this way. But it's okay, just keep playing, you know, like the Titanic. You know, they were playing the music while the ship was sinking. Yeah, right.
Lynn Sweet will be joined.
Do you get what I'm saying? Look, they run right by the musicians. All the people. Look, don't tell him. No, it's okay, don't tell him. No, don't tell anybody. It's so stupid, man. Just let don't you want to save the Jews? Come on, let's save the Jews. Do you guys get what I'm saying, man? They just run right by the people. Don't even tell them that there's a shooter. Look at the Jews running, man. There's nothing funnier than Jews running. I could just watch Jews running all day. This is just too darn funny, man. That music is what's doing it for me. I can't take it. I gotta watch it again. I can't take it.
The violence. Lynn Sweet will be joining us here.
You want to hear something funny? I bet you not everybody, obviously not everybody was in on it. There's just some people who start running and then all the dum-dums just keep running. You know what I mean? And what they do is they block off an area where the parade was not even around or didn't even go down that block. You know, they probably told everybody to gather at this 2 blocks, but yet they put a whole bunch of people where the shooter would be on the one particular block where the parade route wasn't supposed to go down, but it went that way. Do you get what I'm saying? And they had a bunch of people lined up there, you know, all their people, if you get what I'm saying.
Today, my colleague Hallie Jackson spoke to a woman named Kristen Carlson who was at the parade, and she recounted her terrifying experience.
No, not again.
We were running a little bit late today.
No, I'm not listening to this
we were
preacher
walking.
again. Oh, but wait, I want to make sure I have that one. I gotta watch it later.
Custody at this time, a very active apprehension effort is currently underway. Individuals with knowledge of the incidents, persons of interest, including photo or video evidence from the scene or area, are encouraged.
Turn to.
Oh, hell no.
We heard from a mother who returned to this scene. She said she woke to a text learning her 7-year-old daughter, who was here at the parade, witnessed possibly that shooting. Listen in.
I had me feeling like I have like mini heart attacks as I woke up to a text saying,
She says she had mini heart attack. Look at her name. It's Petty Bone. Whoa. A petite bone. The petite bone is connected to the thigh bone. That's right. The petite bone.
we were just involved in the shooting at the parade in Highland Park, but we're all okay, and Sophia's okay, and it really scared me. I was like, I'm glad you guys left the area, and again, I'm so glad that all of you guys are okay. I'm so happy for that. And he said, I am also very grateful. And I told him to give Sophia big hugs for me. I could have been her, and it really just tears me apart to think anyone could.
You see the creatures they have as witnesses? I mean, you know, obviously their family is probably in jail, and that's who they use, like jail people, you know. Let's listen to this creature again.
And I told him to give Sophia big hugs for me. I could have been her, and it really just tears me apart to think anyone could. I don't know who lost their lives today, but for kids to keep losing their lives, it's just really scary, especially as a mother, because that's all you hear about nowadays.
Where did it? I want to go back to where it says 4 or 5. Where did it say
Shooting
that?
at the parade.
I thought I saw something about 4.
Again, I'm so glad.
Oh, there it is. 4 or 5. That's the 45 connection to Trump.
22 years old, and police say he is driving, believed to be driving right now, a 2010 silver Honda Fit. I don't know how they know that. At first, they didn't want to release the information of where he was from. A reporter asked, is he from Highland Park? The police officer said, I'm not going to say that.
Then people started screaming bodies, 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 and then obviously people started, you know, sprinting in all different ways.
What were they screaming? Baddies? What is the baddies?
Bodies, 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 and then
what?
Shots. Then people started screaming bodies, 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 and then
What is the baddies? Baddies. Baddies. I'm trying to figure out what the hell he's saying.
You know, sprinting in all different
ways. Bodies? This sound like he said body.
Yeah, it was just it's horrible to have to have seen it, but you know, my condolences go out to the families who lost these people, the people who are injured. Hopefully they make a full recovery. So, you know, but the fact that
there's that Mexican gang member right there in the middle. If you believe that that's a cop, you're just dumb. Okay? What it is he is the actor. The rest of them are actual cops. Okay? You understand? They got a guy out of jail, and they put him in with they gave him a fake gun and a whatever the hell that thing is he's got on.
Sleepy Town's parade has been forever changed.
I mean, that dude looks just like a dude, he looks just like a gang member's face, man. I've seen like so many gang members look like that.
Kids who were there, the parents who were there, you know, they're just not gonna easily get past the fact that, you know, in a nice community with not a lot of crime except maybe.
See, those are real cops. These three right here are real cops.
This is not what happens. Of interest also, and I could
even the black dude. He's a real cop. And there is, Spanish cops. I'm not saying there's no Spanish cops, but that dude was not a cop. I can tell a cop a mile away.
Interest lives in the community. So that's just, so whatever this, so
there's the other fake cop.
But he lived about a half. If he is the person, he lived about a half a mile away from this, from the parade.
Now, doctor, did you believe
now that dude could be a fake one too. Look at this dude. He looks so out of place.
Now,
look at him. His clothes weigh more than he does. His outfit weighs more than him. Look at him.
Were you able just to what you observed in terms of the injuries of people? It sounds like obviously we heard that very chilling number that there's 26 hospitalizations, 25 for gunshots.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm a physician. I'm not a trauma surgeon. I'm not an ER doctor. I'm an OB-GYN.
He's an OB-GYN. Ah, man. You know he's a Jew, this doctor. OB-GYN. I check vaginas, you know.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm a physician. I'm not a trauma surgeon. I'm not an ER doctor. I'm an OB-GYN. This is not
OB-GYN.
I'm a surgeon. I'm not an ER doctor. I'm an OB-GYN. This is not what we normally do. But, you know, when you see people lying on the corner and family members screaming, I, like other people,
he's an OB-GYN who likes boys' heinies. You know what I mean? This is not a dude who likes women, if you know what I'm saying.
Screaming, I, like other people, there were probably some nurses, there was a nurse practitioner, there were 2 other doctors, one was a plastic surgeon, one was an ER doctor, you know, and probably countless other people tried to do whatever they could to help, which is applied tourniquets. I started a couple IVs. I was trying to do CPR on there was an 8-year-old, and then the paramedics got there and, you know, sort of took over. But, you know, you do what you can. Did I know that the shooter was gone? I didn't hear anything. I waited about a minute, and then I just sort of did what the other people did who were there, which was not be heroes, just try to be helpful, because there was a mass casualty. It was like a mass casualty scene. You know, you had the people who I saw who were pronounced dead immediately had horrific injuries, the kind of injuries that are seen in wartime injuries, blast injuries where people's heads are not intact, where body cavities are open. These are, and this was from...
He loves open body cavities. Oh, yeah. He's an OB-GYN.
Is where there were casualties. One was, there were 2 corners. So he had direct aim from a 4th floor little lookout, and he had his perch up there and his high-powered rifle, and he let...
Wait. He says he knows exactly where it is. Tell us where he was.
There were casualties. One was, there were 2 corners. So he had direct aim from a 4th floor little lookout, and he had his...
4th floor little lookout. Oh, so you know where he's at? You knew where... Nobody else knows this information. Only this Dr. Rabbi right here. Slash OB-GYN.
On 2 corners. That's where all the casualties were. It was not from the people stirring. It was, he just let loose. He had a direct aim down on those areas. That's where the bodies were. There were 6 people who were immediately gone. The paramedics quickly assessed and decided who was not, you know, who had...
Look at all those white dudes, and they bring this one little Mexican here who's got a bandage on his foot. I don't know what they did with this dude, but he's holding his bandages, and I have no idea what's going on, because he's got weird pads in his legs. This dude.
They pronounced dead at the scene, and a lot of other people had more, you know, gunshots to their lower extremities, you know, not life-threatening injuries. The little boy, I prayed, you know, I'm anxious to hear, because when that part haunts me.
You see how when he's talking about little boys, he gets excited. He can't even talk. Look at him.
Not life-threatening injuries.
Listen.
The little boy, I prayed, you know, I'm anxious to hear, because when yeah, that part haunts me.
My goodness, he's going nuts. It's driving him nuts. He can't even, you know what I mean? He can't even talk. He's getting so excited.
Some other parts too.
Yeah. Can you tell me, Doctor, Highland Park, I used to live and work in Chicago and was a reporter there, so I know it quite well. It's a really beautiful, wonderful, leafy, vibrant place, very active.
Look, it says me dick. What is a me dick? Oh, it's medic. I thought it said me dick.
Community, lots of synagogues, very tight knit. You know.
Did you hear that? It's synagogues right when I was talking about the dick. What a coincidence.
Place. A really beautiful, wonderful, leafy, vibrant place. A very active, thriving Jewish community. Lots of synagogues, very tight knit. You know, legendarily the site of John Hughes' 80s movies, Houses. Tell me a little bit about your community and your experience there and what it's like.
You know, it's always been a low crime. I mean, but now obviously, you know, I mean, even my daughter, who has a little 2.5-year-old, is like, you know, traumatized because
this dude's name is Dr. David Baum. Dr. David Baum. The Baum. That's right. Hey, to the person who's saying I'm saying something sexual every second, you know why? You dum-dum. You want me to tell you why? Because I'm doing exactly what the Jews do on every one of their stupid shows. I'm mocking the Jew because they mock us with their sexual innuendos in every one of their shows. Yeah, I'm calling you a dum-dum. That's you. I'm calling you a dum-dum. Because you don't get it, you dum-dum.
Safe. Is it safe to take a child to a water park? Is it safe to take him to his day camp? Is it safe to go to a synagogue? I mean, Highland Park is not just a Jewish community. I mean, there's maybe, you know, half the community is, but it's a mixed community, and there's lots of great people who are, you know, terrific community members who are mortified that you cannot go to a parade and feel safe because
I'm showing the whole world what I'm about. Oh yeah. And you're gonna see it very soon. As soon as my predictions manifest, then you're gonna repent and get on your knees and ask God for forgiveness for what you're thinking about me.
this country has decided that it is okay for a 20-year-old to go up on a rooftop and wreak carnage and literally eviscerate bodies and destroy families and kill people. And until, I mean, it's hard to believe that you keep on, you know, I have all the respect for you and MSNBC, but, you know, how can this country not
is taking care of one.
So here's that creature from earlier. Look at her name. Look at this creature's name. Barb Croak. Her name is Barbara Croak. Can you imagine? Nurse's name is Croak. It was like that Dr. Lube. In one of those stories, Dr. Lube. Or or that other one, his name was Dr. Carver, and he was the forensic doctor or the coroner, Dr. Carver.
There's family members, emotional support is needed, advanced trauma care, advanced emergency care, and of course,
Barbara Croak. This dude, I'm not kidding with you. This dude looked like one of my Armenian neighbors. I'm not kidding. His face looks Armenian, but he just looks like a skinny Armenian crackhead, you know. And I'm Armenian, you know. I mean, that's why I'm saying that. This is the shooter. His name is Crimo. CRIMO. They want to ram the Cremo. They want to ram their cream into your O. Uh-oh. And he's the third. You see?
That there was a massive
investigation on the
What the hell is this? What happened? Oh. I must have, my TV got messed up. Hold on. I gotta figure out where I'm at here. What's the date today? I forgot. Oh. Wait a minute. Where am I, man? This is from years ago. I'm lost. Where am I? This is how much recordings I have, folks. I don't even know where I'm at. It's from years. I can't remember where I was. Oh, you see how I picked the exact spot again? What is going on? I don't understand what just happened. No, that wasn't the right one.
I just felt sick to my stomach.
Hold on, folks. Here's the guy I want you to hear later, but I want to go back. I went too far. I don't understand what I did, man. Okay, we know that's not it. Okay, we watched that. We saw that. Barbara Croak, okay. We saw this. Okay. Okay, this is where we were. I don't understand. How did I get to that other thing? I don't understand what happened. Anyway, let's listen to what this dude's saying.
To get in. My buildings. Tried to break the glass to get in with my son, and I couldn't break it. And
oh, you know what? Let's start from the beginning with this. I want you to hear what that guy said.
Unfolding just outside of Chicago, a deadly mass shooting during a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois. The shots reportedly rang out at about 10 minutes after.
You want to hear something crazy? Yeah, I know it went to the Mandalay Bay shooting, that whatever my television just did. And earlier, they were comparing this to the Mandalay shooting, the Vegas shooting. That's so incredible. I don't understand how it went to that. You know, my TV does weird stuff, but for it to glitch at the Mandalay Bay, that is weird. Because, you know, that's the reason I have it on there, because it's got the man in it. You know, the Mandalay Bay. And by the way, the shooting happened near a dawn. It was Gore Dawn. The actual, I'm not sure, you know, if that was where the exact shooting was. We're gonna, you know, hopefully we'll see. But that is weird that they mentioned it, you know, because it was from above the shooting, you know. That is weird, man.
At least 6 people were shot and killed, more than 2 dozen injured. The victims vary in age from 8 to 85.
Oh, let's listen to that again.
Park, Illinois. The shots reportedly rang out at about 10 minutes after the start of the parade. At least 6 people were shot and killed, more than 2 dozen injured. The victims vary in age from 8 to 85. Many of them were shot right along the parade route. Authorities reportedly believe that the shooter may have been firing from the top of a building, creating panic and chaos in the streets. Witnesses say hundreds of people then began running for safety after they heard the gunfire, leaving everything behind, including chairs, strollers, and coolers. Someone yelled out, "Gunshots! gunshots. A marching band then ran from the parade route. Some say they first thought that they were hearing fireworks. Tonight, the gunman is still on the loose. Police did recover a weapon. Just a short time ago, authorities named a person of interest, 22-year-old Lgbtqcrimo. He's considered armed and dangerous. We're beginning to learn a lot about some of the victims, including Nicholas Toledo, killed.
Nicholas Toledo. Listen, folks. Out of all the people that had to die, it had to be a Spanish old dude, but his name is Toledo, because Toledo is in Ohio. And I told you this is connected to Trump's head wound, because it's on 7/4, because Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4, August 4th. And August 4th is 7 months, 4 days into the year. And today is 7/4. You get it? It's it's just another connection. Toledo's in Ohio.
Instead of celebrating the
where Trump's going to get his head wound in Ohio.
They are now being urged to shelter in place. From Buffalo, New York to Uvalde, Texas, there have been more than 250 mass shootings so far this year. And now Highland Park, Illinois. ABC's Alex Perez leads us off tonight from the scene.
Tonight, an urgent manhunt underway for 22-year-old Robert E. Bobby Crimo. Police calling him a person of interest in the shooting that turned a July 4th celebration into a deadly rampage. It was just 10 minutes into this Independence Day parade in Highland Park, Illinois, when a shooter armed with a rifle unleashing a barrage of bullets. Hundreds of families seen running.
Listen, I don't know if you guys can see this, but down here at the bottom, check this out. You're not going to believe this. Watch this guy right here. I'm going to slow it down. Watch what you're going to see here. Right here. Watch. Where is it? Oh, he's right here. The stupid banner is in the way, but later you're going to see him. Once the banner gets out of the way, watch. He's filming. There he is. Look, look. I don't know if you guys can see it. He's filming. Keep watching the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it. He's videotaping it, look, with his camera. That's what they're going to show later. Watch. He's still filming it.
Hundreds of families seen running for their lives.
I just looked back at my dad, and right behind him, this girl just fell in cold blood and just died. And we saw a few other people just get shot.
Some witnesses say the bullets sounded.
Man, if you saw someone get shot and killed, man, you would have so much more different, demeanor in your face,
And this girl just fell in cold blood and just died. And we saw a few other people just get shot.
Some witnesses say the bullets sounded like they were coming from above the parade.
And I came upon what scene I have never seen in my life, of bloodied people, and I almost started to cry, and I just felt sick to my stomach. It was just carnage and horrific.
Some parents trying to take cover in nearby buildings.
Tried to break the glass to get in with my son.
Here's the guy. Pay attention to what he says he did.
Buildings.
Tried to break the glass to get in with my son, and I couldn't break it. And when the shot stopped again, was when we decided we had to run. So we started shooting again, and we ran behind the building, and I put my son in a dumpster.
That dad placing his son in a dumpster to keep him safe until he could find other family members.
You look at the aftermath here.
Oh, man. I'm going to play it again later for you, too. Can you imagine?
By buildings.
Tried to break the glass to get in with my son. And
oh, please. You couldn't break the glass to break in? I'm pretty sure you broke into many places. Bro.
Break it, and when the shot stopped again, was when we decided we had to run. So we started shooting again, and we ran behind the building, and I put my son in a dumpster.
That dad placing his son in a dumpster to keep him safe until he could find other family members.
You look at the aftermath here and you get a real sense of the panic, how quickly everything unfolded. Here's what looks like a toddler's chair. There are chairs all over the place, even strollers, food, drinks, all kinds of things left behind as everyone ran for cover.
John Will showing us where he was sitting with his 97-year-old mother who's in a wheelchair. They were lucky to escape.
This doesn't happen in a little town like this. It's scary. I don't know what this world's coming to.
He had a Beatles shirt on. El Beast.
Woman says her best friend's sister was shot.
I love her. And then I'm sorry, for her sister. And then,
Where's all the Jews? It's a Jewish community.
And I hope that she gets better.
At least 6 people were killed, 31 people hospitalized, including 25 with gunshot wounds. A child in critical condition, the victims between 8 and 85 years old. Police searching for the shooter and telling the public to shelter in place.
This is an active situation, and we urge everyone to remain indoors and be on high alert, but remain calm.
We're taking a live look here. Downtown Highland Park police are urging people to stay away from Central and 2nd Streets.
Police say the shooter opened fire from the roof of a local business, gaining access through an unsecured alleyway and ladder attached to the building. Tonight, police say Crimo could be driving a 2010 silver Honda Fit.
We have teams out very actively trying to apprehend this individual. He is considered armed and dangerous. Community should not approach him.
And Alex joins us now from the scene in Highland Park. And tonight, police are asking the public to be on the lookout for that car. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Lindsay, I'll get you that vehicle description in just a second, but first I want you to take a look behind me here, and you can see all of those chairs is still here for a couple of blocks, almost frozen in time. A crime scene of sorts, the entire parade route, as authorities continue to look for the suspect. At this point, still many officers here on the scene, an active crime scene, Lindsay. Now, the vehicle that authorities are looking for, that 2010 silver Honda Fit with Illinois license plate number DM80653. And Lindsay, investigators say that.
And at the point
there's the doctor again.
Was what you saw.
So I was there with my family, the children's parade that my grandson had just walked in with my daughter and my son-in-law was over. The fire trucks had come through, the Highland Park Police, the Highland Park Marching Band, and then you heard a series of sonic booms coming in fast repetition. You heard people screaming, saying bodies down, everybody obviously.
Baddie, see? Oh, is it? Are you sure that that's what the kids are trying to say, body?
Bodies down, everybody obviously ran for wherever they didn't know where the shots were coming from. There were 2 areas where there was horrible number of people that were hit. Some that their bodies were horribly injured from guns and bullets that were made for war, not for parades. The gunman supposedly was up on a rooftop, had a perfect perch to shoot down on the parade. And
I think they're saying bad because I think kids are taught to yell baddie or something, like something's bad. Not body. I don't think that's what they're saying. You guys were saying they were saying body. I think the kids are yelling bad, I think white mothers and fathers, they teach their kids to say bad. It's a baddie. Stranger danger, you know what I mean?
Corners in our little sleepy community of Highland Park of people just sitting.
Sleepy community, sleepy Jews.
Bye.
And tell us what you witnessed as far as the extent of the injuries that you saw.
Well, I don't think I need to be graphic, but I would say not having served in the armed forces, these are the kinds of injuries that are seen in war. These are bodies that...
He served the armed forces. You know how? He gave them all circumcisions. That's the only service he ever did to the army. Get in line for your circumcision.
One had an evisceration type injury and one had a traumatic brain injury, and I don't think I need to be any more descriptive than that. People had no chance of not being hit. There was just
They call me the circumciser.
shots that rang out, stopped for a second, and then another flurry of the sonic booms, and then the people screaming.
And I know that you said that people were saying bodies down as a doctor.
It is right. You guys were right. It's bodies down. I still can't believe what I'm hearing. It sounded like they were saying the kid were saying baddies.
You were able to do.
How would I never heard nothing like that? Kids are going to be saying bodies down, bodies down. That's nonsense.
Bodies down as a doctor. What were you able to do to help?
I think I did what most people who were there helping did, which was just try and do something. It seemed as if the shooting had stopped. There was a couple minutes of lull, and then people did whatever they could. There is no good reason that anyone needs to have a high-powered rifle capable of the injuries that we all saw. I mean, there were people, the paramedics went, quickly and assessed the damages, saw bodies that were blown apart and put a blanket over them quickly, and then went on to try and help other people. These are injuries that nobody should have to see. I mean, being a physician, I've seen bad things, but I don't think the average person could, the image of what was there today, the average person would have a hard time forever forgetting. It was a mass casualty situation.
The cops' faces. They had the other cop with his hand on his head. They showed a couple of those images. Oh, man. He was probably playing peekaboo with his son or another cop. Peekaboo.
What?
I'm a
was
Jew.
Today?
Peekaboo. Me too. I'm a Jew too.
Person would have a hard time forever forgetting. It was a mass casualty situation at a parade. My little grandson was walking through the parade earlier. I mean, any family was at risk with what happened today. And the whole thing is it's a sickening tale of what's wrong with this country.
Dr. Baum, really appreciate you taking the time. Really thank you so much for sharing what you saw with us.
Thank you.
Law enforcement and federal intelligence agencies have been concerned about the potential for violence at July 4th events. Let's get right to ABC's Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas. Pierre, what are your sources telling you?
Lizzie, my sources are describing an extremely dangerous situation and it's ongoing. They're quite concerned that this attack appears to have been planned and the shooter showed absolutely no regard for life, trying to kill as many people as possible. And this mass shooting comes as authorities have been warning of a heightened threat environment. A Homeland Security bulletin from early June was blunt, saying, in the coming months, we expect the threat environment to become more dynamic. High-profile events, including large public gatherings like today, could be targets. The bulletin also pointed out that lone wolves and groups with a variety of grievances could be involved. The list is long, from ISIS to Al-Qaeda to white supremacists to unstable people and others motivated by a host of hot-button political issues. Lindsay, as of today, there have been 309 mass shootings so far this year.
Pierre Thomas, our thanks to you. And we're now starting to learn more about the victims in the hospital and their conditions tonight. Let's get right to Mayor Kawash from our station WLS in Chicago.
Look at this dude. He's got makeup on. He's got eyeshadow. Oh my goodness. This dude is like a girl in a guy's body. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, he looks like a girl. Weird, man.
Yeah, Lindsay, we're here at North Shore Highland Park Hospital where 26...
Oh, see, now he looks different. Did you see that? Did you see that? Look. Where is it? Right there. Look at that.
Yeah, Lindsay, we're here at North Shore Highland Park Hospital where 26...
I don't think we were supposed to see him with all the makeup on and stuff. I think this is the look they probably wanted to give him.
victims were taken for treatment. 25 of them were treated for gunshot wounds. We know the ages of those victims ranges from 8 to 85 years old. Now, the good news is we know 19 of the victims were able to be treated and discharged from the hospital. But in the meantime, we've seen this entire hospital property essentially locked down as police are securing the entrances, checking in with any car that drives up. Families initially rushed to the hospital looking for some loved ones, but we're told that all families and victims have been reunited at this point. People initially shocked all around the area. The streets eerily quiet as they sheltered in place. But right now,
he looks like that dude who played Freddie Mercury in the movie. I can't remember the stupid dude's name.
The nurses, the doctors, visibly shaken up from the trauma they've seen here tonight, Lindsay.
Still shocked to be sure, Mayor. Thank you. And now we turn to Ron.
Yeah, he had to read his lines. Yeah, you're right. Into the phone. By the way, I did a whole video about the Ohio shooting yesterday, and I'm going to talk about it in another time. But right now, I just want to focus on this, because I did a whole video on that, but I deleted it yesterday. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know, this woman, she doesn't have legs. She has like prosthetics or something. This one right here, it's a senator. Look, the whole thing's about to fall almost. Look at this. Nobody wants to help because she probably told them, don't help me. She's one of those like people who don't like people to help them, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Governor. This morning, I got up, like most Americans, like the families of the 6 who were killed, to celebrate life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those 6 families no longer have that opportunity. My heart goes out to those families who will never see their loved ones again. And I've made it clear to both Governor Pritzker and Mayor Rodering that I would do whatever I can at the federal level to get them the resources they need, not just to catch the shooter, but to help Highland Park recover from this tragedy.
She is the senator of Illinois where this happened, and the creature's name is Tammy Duckworth. She's got the duck in her name. Duckworth. I don't know how she lost her legs, but I don't know. I can't stand the creature.
With Senator Durbin, who is driving here as quickly as he possibly can to come to Highland Park.
Durbin, you know Durbin's first name? The senator is Dick. Dr. Senator Dick Durbin. Tammy Duckworth.
And he also sends his condolences and his thoughts. And you know, he and I recently in the Senate last month proved that bipartisan compromise on gun safety is possible. Today, we have seen that we can't just stop there. We have to do more to keep our communities safe. We have to get rid of assault weapons, high-capacity magazines, and so many other additional common sense reforms that wide majorities of Americans are crying out for. And so today I will go home and hug my babies a little tighter.
Oh, she's gonna go hug her little ducklings. She's got ducklings at home, folks. How cute. She's got ducklings. Ducklings with dinklings.
Gratefulness that they are safe. But I think about the babies and the families who lost moms and dads and grandparents today. And we must do more. I just listened to the sound of that gunfire from one of the videos that was captured. And let me tell you that the last time I heard a weapon with that capacity firing that rapidly on a 4th of July was Iraq. It was not the United States of America. We can, and we should, and we will do better.
So are you trying to say you lost your legs in Iraq? What the hell were you doing in Iraq? You should have been home. Having a baby and taking care of your kids, you creature. Speaking of creatures, look at this dude. And look, he was driving a silver Honda Fit. The initials for silver Honda Fit equals 33. SHF equals 33.
Do you have?
He's already caught, folks. He's in custody already.
63.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is Neil Simon.
Those shots first broke out.
Look at Neil Simon.
Like a pop, pop, pop. And I think like everybody on that moment.
He said pop, 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 this creature. The three
One witness
pops.
described what he heard as those shots first broke out.
Like a pop, pop, pop. And I think like everybody on that moment, maybe it's display and it floats. And then it's
Larry Bloom. His name is Larry Bloom. Wait, who's that in the background?
display and it floats.
What was
And then it
that? What the hell? Who is that? He's got to be just...
And then it just...
He must be lost or something, that guy. He must be his little Spanish boy, boy toy. That must be his Spanish boy toy in the background. Because, you know, the Jews do that. They bring little Spanish boy toys around.
display and it floats. And then it just opened up. Just that familiar, you know, semi or alligator gunfire. Just off it. Just
The wind is blowing, so you can't hear what he's saying.
shots.
Another witness of the shooting told our affiliate in Chicago that he hid his child in a dumpster to protect him.
Here it goes. Watch, listen.
We were watching the parade. We heard the gunshots. We started running with the people. I went into one of the stores.
His name is Alexander Sandoval.
Running with the people. I went into one of the stores, tried to break the window to get into one of the stores. The gun shot, and then I picked up my kids and we ran again. I put them in a garbage dumpster, and then I ran back to look for my partner and her daughter, and I saw.
Who talks like that? My partner and her daughter. I mean, nobody's going to talk like that on TV unless they're told, you know, all the kinds of weird scripted words and they're getting their stories all mixed up. My partner. And so you left your daughter and her kid and you know, and threw your kid into a dumpster. I tell you, man, these people are just vile, man.
We were watching the parade. We heard the gunshots. We started running with the people. I went into one of the stores, tried to break the window to get into one of the stores. The gun shot, and then I picked up my kids and we ran again. I put them in the garbage.
Yeah, he said kids this time. So he said more than one kid. Yeah. Instead of, because before he just said my son, now he said kid. Then he corrected himself again.
And then I picked up my kids and we ran again. I put them in a garbage dumpster, and then
see, he said I put them.
Kids. And we ran again. I put them in a garbage dumpster, and then I ran back to look for my partner and her daughter, and I saw people shot on the ground and a little boy being carried away by my person that got shot. People, blood, gunshot.
What did he just say? My person. What is this guy saying? Can somebody explain to me what he just said?
And I saw people shot on the ground and a little boy being carried away by my person that got shot. People, blood, gunshot wounds, and luckily we were able to be reunited and everybody was okay.
How terrifying.
It was horrible. I mean, my kids were crying. We couldn't believe it. You know, it's just something that you don't expect in this community, and it really touched home.
This community, as if he lives there. Oh, man. And he's, and you know what's the greatest part is that they don't even tell you like that he went back to the dumpster to go get his kid. That's the best part. You know what I mean? What about the part where you went back and got your kid out of the dumpster? Did he smell like burritos? Did he smell like a chalupa?
Believe it. It's just something that you don't expect in this community, and it really touched home.
One witness described what he heard as shots first broke out earlier today. We may have actually already played that sound. Hold on 1 second. I want to...
Right. Well, those clips you just played, that's similar to what we're hearing talking to witnesses. It's the same story over and over. It was just a reign of terror here in Highland Park. Right now, at this moment, you can hear probably that there's helicopters still hovering up.
Hold on. I just want to go back to that guy, and I'm going to leave it here just in case I want to play it later.
Lake Michigan, about 25 miles north of downtown Chicago. And Chris, what I saw was horrific. I saw the people fleeing, the moment that the shots fired, people started to scatter.
Look, that girl, I think she picked up something off the ground. I think there's a Jew picked up a penny. Did you see that?
I saw.
You can barely see, but a Jew picks up a penny right here.
The moment that the shots fired, people started
the Jew picked up a penny.
So as I went in toward the scene that people were fleeing, I saw bodies on the ground so mangled from this high-powered weapon.
Maybe that's what they were running about.
That was using. I don't even want to on television tell you what one body I saw looked like. It was so horrific. I saw people being carried on gurneys into ambulances. So if there was any small blessing in this horrible terrorist attack by a shooter who is still out at large, is at the beginning of the parade, there were all kinds of Highland Park emergency vehicles kicking off this parade. And so they were right there on the scene when this shooting happened. It happened, so the emergency vehicles, Chris, kicked off the parade, and the shooting happened about 14 minutes later, so they were all still there. So a small blessing in this porch.
I'm laughing at you guys' comments. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You see the... It looks like a face. The blood. I don't know if you guys can see it. It looks like somebody's face. Could it be Trump's face? Whose face is that? In the blood. You guys can't see it on the screen unless you're looking at it on a computer, maybe.
So the bodies I saw were on the south side of the street, which suggests that the shooter was on the north side in one of the buildings. It took people no time at all to understand to flee.
Well, it wouldn't make sense if it was Elvis's face, because that thing looks like a space needle around the blood. You see it? It looks like a space needle, the round part above the blood.
And in this murder, but
anyway, I don't know what it. Somebody's walking by my window here.
Chock full of bullets. You see, hear, and witness this. Chris, I saw pools of blood so deep.
Look at on his shirt. It says "Dick." You see it? D-I-C, Dick. Can you imagine all these dudes with these tattoos, man? Weird, man.
Just didn't occur to me that this was happening even though I could see it with my own eyes.
Carlson!
And just to make sure everyone in your family is safe and secure, is that right, Kristen?
Yes.
All right. Kristen Carlson, have you...
You know that I don't know, man. Something fishy about this creature. It looks like she's wearing a fake face and everything. You know who this person reminds
I'm
me
just
of?
processing everything that I saw today.
You had kids with you there. Had you?
It's hard to tell in this one, but in the other one I played, it kind of reminds me of one of those SNL characters. I forget her stupid name. Behind the, if you look into the eyes of this creature, it looks like that creature. I wish I could remember. Name some SNL characters. Recently, I'm saying that was Chris. Kristen Wiig. Chris something Wiig. Something Christy Wiig or something like that. Kristen Wiig. That's who's under this mask, I bet. We'll go back and look at it later. This is State Senator July Morrison. July. Here's where they caught the guy, I guess. He was in a, look at, there's not the red truck, the silver one at the lower left bottom right there. In the middle, I mean. That's his car, supposedly. So they caught him. He's born on September 20th, 2000. Look at the black dot is right over his eye. That's funny. Cremo. I mean, it's so ridiculous, that. The third. I told you the 3 is always the code, folks. You know. And I told you silver Honda Fit SHF equals 33. I think that's it, folks. I don't have any more.
And more about the online activity of this person of interest, and I know you've got some new information for us, Ben.
That's correct. Lgbtqcrimo on the internet went by a rapper named Awake, and
he was a rapper? I didn't even know that. I didn't even hear this one. Oh man, Awake. I can't wait to see this idiot's. You know we're gonna see that, right? Later, that he's rapping.
Music videos.
He's gonna be rapping about hating Jews. Watch.
Under that name, it was pretty much just graphic depictions of mass violence.
33.
Or him getting murdered by the police after, in cartoon form, after.
Wait a minute. Wait. What did they say?
And in those music videos that he put out under that name, it was pretty much just graphic depictions of mass violence, school shooting, or him getting murdered by the police after, in cartoon form, after a shooting that he perpetrated in these videos. And that was basically his aesthetic. He had a Discord forum where people hopped on and rooted him on for things. And what, most recent, before the shooting, the last post in the politics section of that Discord forum was a picture of Bud Dwyer, who famously, the politician who famously killed himself on live TV. So it's this sort of aesthetic.
Wait, I'm looking at that license plate. I don't know if you can see that. It says 18 and it says 618. Elvis died on 8/16 and he's born on 18. Look at that.
So it's this sort of aesthetic of mass death that you saw in these forums. It was this fetishization of mass death that you saw constantly from his.
The only people with a fetish is you sickos on TV. You guys are creating fetishes, you stupid idiots. With these ridiculous stories and all that perversion you show on television. Look at this idiot's eyes.
Constantly from his posts and his music videos.
Tough to tell right then, but do you get a sense of what was driving this person of interest? What was driving Crimo to violence? What were the reasons why?
Well, this is very difficult to say because you don't want to egg it on. But there is a community of people on the internet who are obsessed with mass death, and you know, people who fetishize mass killers. And this has been happening since basically Columbine, but it has accelerated in the age of social media and the internet. And you see it a lot on boards like 4chan and places like that, extremist forums, where they have developed entire personalities based around the concept of killing people. They view it as like a scoreboard, the amount of deaths you can accrue in a mass killing. They talk about that afterwards too. Some of these forums talk about, you know, they compare mass killers to previous mass killers and say, you know, he didn't do as well as this guy or something like that. That's part of the community that he was appealing to in these spaces. And you could see a lot, not just in his music videos, but in his posts across the internet. He was actually
see right there, you can see the guy's filming right there. There he is, look. See, he was filming the whole time.
To previous mass killers. And say,
why are they showing this? I'm saying, they're not hiding it, like right here. This guy's filming with his phone. So, you know, what they're going to say is he saw people running and he just started filming it. You know. It wasn't, you know, they're going to say it was not anything. I mean, they're not going to say anything. That's just, I'm just saying that would be their excuse. That he was just the only one filming. You know, I just find it interesting that nobody else is doing it except for him. You know, you would think there would be, you know, tons of people with their phones out. Because let me tell you something, if I hear gunshots, I'm not going to run anywhere until I know where it's coming from. You know what I'm trying to say? I would look around, you know, and, you know, until I figure out where it's from, and then maybe run.
There are message boards on the internet that were literally just posts of people being beheaded or people being killed. He was a power user.
Look, there's an old man with 2 kids right there. Look at this, right here. He's not moving anywhere. Where's my stupid pointer? I lost my pen. He's way over here. He's got two little kids with him, and you know,
not just in his
nobody's
videos, but in
helping
his
him.
Across the internet. He was actually he was in other message boards.
No, he was running. He ran into the picture. Sorry. Then they stopped right there.
Of people being beheaded or people being killed. He was a power user on those forums. It's basically a cult of death in these internet forums.
So Ben, it's kind of like the sick balance of push-pull understanding of why this crime potentially happened today if this person of interest becomes charged in the end. And you've been describing what may have pulled him into this space, perhaps
out of his motorcade after Donald Trump landed for an event. And another time he was posted with the Trump flag draped around him. He posted that on his Twitter account.
Uh-oh, I got to go back to that. Sorry. If it's about Trump, I got to hear it.
Was he angry at anything? Was he upset with certain groups or ideas that may be on the push side?
That's a good question. You know, I don't want to place this in political leanings. He had a couple of times posted about Donald Trump. Once he was outside of his motorcade after Donald Trump landed for an event. And another time he was posted with the Trump flag draped around him. He posted that on his Twitter account. But I do want to say that the irony on these boards is just as important as the sincerity. So whether he was functionally a Donald Trump fan or not, you can't tell by 2 posts. You really cannot. What you can tell is this guy was obsessed with mass murder. Whether he was pushed that way from a politician or not, I'm not sure. But I can tell you he was pushed that way from a community of people on the internet who were effectively his fans and telling him to accelerate it.
One of the things that you've probably heard many times from Tim Kavanaugh, our analyst over here at MSNBC and NBC News, he often uses the word loner Would you describe, based on the postings of this person of interest, that this person of interest was a loner and felt that others didn't accept this individual?
Yeah, Richard, you can call these people loners, but at some point there are a lot of these loners, and they are no longer loners. If they're all going to the same forums, if they're all, self-referential, if they talk about the other shooters, if they talk about the, what it looks like as art to do these things before they do it. These videos were posted in January. This is not a recent phenomenon for this person. If they have entire communities set up to talk about those music videos and, people know the references they're talking about when these things happen. This isn't a situation where there are loners. This is a situation where these people are operating.
The reason I'm watching this is because there's nothing to watch. This is the last video I have. All the other recordings I've already went through. So I'm going to end the video in like 15 minutes, so I've been on for...
What were there any indications?
I've been on for... How long have I been on? Whoa! I've been on for over 2 hours. I didn't even know.
Artwork that he had exhibited through tattoos that also might give us a hint as to who he might be as an individual.
I think it's probably too early to say.
Are you talking about R. Kelly? Because I've already talked about R. Kelly years ago when he was in the news. I connected him to Elvis, if that's who you're talking about. Yeah, he's been in the news for years, ever since Trump's been in office. I've been talking about R. Kelly. Because anybody born on January 8th, believe me, I've talked about it. or June 11th, or June 14th, or August 4th, or August 16th. Any date connected to my videos.
To say for that,
Yeah.
There are no traditional, you don't see any swastikas or anything like that on him. No traditional neo-Nazi paraphernalia that I've seen so far. However, you can exist as a person who wants to murder people on the internet with a completely different form of artistic framework, I guess. That's what this.
Hey, to that person named God is Truth and Love. Hey, are you mad at me? Listen. If you really believe that I am those kind of things that I say, you're nuts. I'm trying to be funny and make the video entertaining while at the same time mocking them who mock us, okay? So don't be angry at me for calling you a dum-dum. All right? I was just pointing out that you're being ridiculous. Okay? I told you, I grew up watching television. Okay? No, I know you're not talking to me now. I'm talking earlier when you were talking to me. I'm trying to make you understand that I grew up in their perversion, and I became one of their perverts. I'm telling you, my mind was sick because of these people. Because they brainwashed me from birth, man, with this television, and all the friends that I had were these perverts, okay? I became one of them, and that's why I said when you become saved, you get out of that, okay? But what you're seeing me do now, because you become a new man, what I'm doing now is pointing out their perversion and also mocking them with their own jokes, okay?
Going for. He was there is effectively a 4chan mass shooter style aesthetic that he was trying to replicate in these videos. And whether that's tied to white supremacy is something that we'll figure out over the next few days. But that's what you see constantly in these spaces are people referencing those prior people. So it's a new kind of thing. It is like I said, it's like a cult of death on there. They constantly talk about the prior mass shootings on here. And I don't think this is any different.
In your beat and expertise of online extremism, how does this person of interest...
Notice that, see, you know how you know he's the actor, this one and this one? Notice how they're all dressed, the other ones, but they got these shirts on? You see what I'm saying? That's how you know who the actors are, okay? In this particular, charade. Yeah, right.
or not stand out compared to other individuals that we've unfortunately had to try to understand and characterize in recent months and years?
Well, I think the most interesting part of this is that he was sort of known on these online spaces. He had little biographies written about himself. He had tens of thousands of views on YouTube before all of this happened.
He had tens of thousands of views, this guy? Yeah, right. What was whatever.
An entity in these far right, mass shooting spaces on the internet. That's the difference. Is previously other people were aspiring to get into that space, and this guy was already making really terrible, by the way, art and rap about this sort of thing. He was already in there. So that's the big difference. People like the Uvalde shooter, for example, that was not the case. These are not known people. They are, pathetic people in general who go and shoot up a school, or they shoot up a supermarket or something, and they are seeking acclaim. This guy was, I don't want to say if he was appealing to fans or fulfilling his own, what his music video had shown. But that's the difference. This time it sort of happened in reverse. He was saying he was going to do this through his art for a very long time.
I know we got to let you go. How long are we talking about? Months, years here, Ben, that he's had this track record?
Years, definitely years. What's weird is they went largely silent on a lot of these forums, on traditional forums like Twitter and YouTube, since basically January. It's unclear what he was doing since then, but he was still lingering around a couple other forums in more anonymous spaces.
Great information there. NBC's Ben Collins, who focuses on online extremism with a lot of detail.
Then Ben must know about me, huh? If he does that. If he's watched my channel in the old days. Oh, man. My original Jurassic Liars channels.
Questions that people are trying to understand about this person of interest now, about 9 or 10 hours since the crime had happened. Thank you so much, Ben Collins. We'll stay on top of this breaking news story.
Like I said, the reason I'm showing this because I'm already gone through all my videos. To the people who got in late, I did already 2 hours, so that's why I got to delete the video right now. So if you missed it, you missed it. Sorry.
Too much. It's too much, and something's got to change.
That was Dr. David Bauman, eyewitness to today's mass shooting in Highland Park, Illinois, which...
Nothing's going to change. People are buying more guns than ever. So this is nothing... I told you, they want everybody to have guns, folks. Don't you understand? That way they have an excuse to shoot everybody. Because when the S hits the fan, as they say, all hell's gonna break loose in America.
And at least 24 or more injured, articulating what many of us are feeling today. Something has got to change. Joining us right now, Jim Cavanaugh, retired ATF special agent in charge and MSNBC terrorism analyst, and Carmen Best, former Seattle police chief, who...
Look at this creature. She was the Seattle police chief, and now she's an analyst for the MSNBC. You see? I mean, man, look at this creature's lips. Whoa. Damn, she got some banging lips. You know, when I say banging, I don't mean that kind of banging.
An 8-year career in law enforcement. Let's start with you on this, Carmen. The latest information that we have, 1 hour ago, we learned that the person of interest was taken into custody. Still staying at person of interest, and as Tom Winter was laying out for us, for certain purposes and in the process as they move forward before charges. What are your thoughts about where we're at?
Well, like most of the rest of America, I'm breathing a sigh of relief that this person is in custody now, still identified as a person of interest.
Interest. Sounds like a drag queen.
to gather more evidence, and interview or interrogate, if you will, the subject to place him at the scene for charging purposes and whatnot. But breathing a sigh of relief after this very horrible and tragic incident occurred. Now that this person of interest is in custody, the investigation will continue, and we can focus now not only on this, but on the victims, mourn the loss of those who died at the hands of the perpetrator, and also really try to come back together as a community after this horrific incident.
Jim, you were on air when we heard from law enforcement that indeed...
Someone's saying I watched RuPaul's Drag Race? Yeah, I don't think so. Never watched it, never will.
Right.
But when I was a kid, on a certain street, if you would drive by, you would see these drag dudes in drag. I mean, there was this one little area where they would have the drag dudes, and then the next block up is all the women, the real women hookers were. When I was a kid, on Sunset it was the hookers, and on Santa Monica it was the butt pluggers and the drags. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Isn't it interesting? They picked the Santa Monica, which Santa Monica, it has a Satan in it, Santa.
And I think
that must not be a coincidence, when you think about it, because West Hollywood, their biggest street is Santa Monica.
If he turns out to be the killer, will be a warrant. And one last comment, Richard. I looked at
Listen, they were attacking you because you were attacking me. All right? You understand? I'm only trying to be funny and entertaining, okay? You want me to say nothing and just let this go? I can do that. I was trying to be funny. And then you were attacking me, so they attacked you. You said all kinds of vile things about me. And I told you, soon you're going to repent. All right? Then you're going to know who I am really. Because you're saying bad things about me. I told you, everything I've ever learned and did was to get me to this point. Okay, I told you I'm being led by the Holy Spirit now. But back then, God was in my life, but he sure wasn't, acknowledging me because I was a wicked sinner. You know what I mean? Okay, once I told you, everything came to fruition once I got saved. You know what I mean? Everything was about everything that I had discovered before was all leading me to this. And I'm trying to explain that. God had his hands in it back then. I just didn't know it. That's the difference. Okay? And yes, I'm admitting I was vile. And all I'm doing now is just trying to be funny and entertain the truthers while at the same time telling them truth and at the same time mocking them the way they mock us. That's all. I don't have any evil in my heart or intent. I'm just trying to be funny. All right? Listen, leave that look, for all the people, leave that person alone. All right? The person obviously doesn't understand what we're doing here. Just let it go.
Him closely on the web. He has a 47 tattooed on his temple.
Whoa, what?
And one last comment, Richard. I looked at pictures of him closely on the web. He has a 47 tattooed on his temple. The number 47. And
that is weird, man. And it's on his temple too. You know, they're talking like they're telling you something like a head wound. Yep, and Trump's going to be the 47th president once he comes back from his head wound. And you know, 47 is a 211. I mean, 47th prime number is 211, and 211 is when George Washington's original birthday, and 211 is the 42nd day of the year. You see how it all comes around? See, I have all these things that I'm going to show you guys soon, but I just can't get to it, man. I'm just being lazy, and it's overwhelming, all this information I have. You don't even know how much information I have, folks, that it's like literally the numbers are so perfect. They match up to Elvis and the next year and the Seattle and everything. Wait till you see it. It's going to blow your mind. If I ever get to it.
Members, that means an AK-47. Could mean something else.
And today is 7-4, you know, and they're talking about 4-7.
7th Street, of course.
What is this that these guys are talking about?
And often with gang members, that means an AK-47. Could mean something else. Could mean he's from 47th Street, of course. But a lot of gang members will tattoo that 47 or an AK-47. And this rifle could very well have been a Kalashnikov, an AK-47. So it's just an interesting fact. It's tattooed on his temple, so it may mean something to him.
Right. We're very aware that it could be an AK-47, but we're not sure if it is an AK-47, according to law enforcement. Carmen, what do you make of what was said there by Jim?
Yeah, well, Jim, as always, is definitely on point. You know, it's no surprise that there's a fixation or proclivity toward violence that was described earlier by Bob. We see this often in these cases, many months, sometimes years.
How do you know he's referencing Lee Harvey Oswald? You saw a video of it? Of this Crimo guy? Talking about Lee Harvey Oswald in his videos, and this guy ends up being a rooftop shooter? Yeah, that's weird. Interesting. Because, you know, I told you all of this has to do with Trump's head wound.
The progression toward finally...
Oh, that's what the guy said in the video? I don't know. I didn't hear it.
Horrible violent act. And I would also say that typically people are aware of, you know, the movement toward this fixation on violence. And it would have been great if there had been some intervention before a horrific incident like today happens. But again, it's not a surprise. I think this is pretty common, particularly in this demographic, young white males under the age of 20 or in the 20s, you know, with a proclivity toward violence or fixation on violence, ultimately committing some sort of violent act like this.
Carmen Best, Jim Kavanaugh.
What a racist.
Help with all of this right now. Do stick around. We've got another hour coming up. This is much more behind this story. We're only about an hour in.
Yeah, I heard that they said that he was a rapper named Awake. Awake the rapper. That's just too funny, man.
Conduct. Call our firm's
hold on. Let's watch some live
TV
TV.
now.
Let's see the live TV.
Person who you were just looking at on the screen there, not a suspect yet, but that person is now in custody.
And Shaq, overviewing the locations, which you know well, being from that area, tell us about the location you're at, which you just described, also where the person of interest, his childhood home was at, and then where he was apprehended.
We're all talking about a pretty small radius of where all this happened. We're in Highland Park right now. It's north of...
You're not in Highland Park, dude. You're in some studio, you liar. You're not nowhere. Yeah, I know they said his name was Shaq. What is that? What's Awake? W-A-K-E. What's that got to do with water? I don't get it. What does W-A-K-E have to do with water coming? I don't get that. No, this is live. When I say live, I mean it's live right now. The guy the TV.
Highland Park right now is north of Chicago, maybe about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic from downtown Chicago. It's a wealthier suburb of Chicago.
His name is Shaquille Brewster.
Of Chicago.
He's a punk. Punky Brewster.
One thing that I've heard more than once, and not just to me, is tell people about how this community normally is. They feel like this is a peaceful community. It's a quiet.
A wake is the wave a boat creates underway as it displaces water. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know nothing about. Yeah, anything to do with water is Elvis. Yeah. Yeah, Punxsutawney Phil. That's right. And Punxsutawney Phil, exactly, is the pee-pee, and they do the pee-pee on the 33rd day of the year every year. Punxsutawney Phil, the Groundhog Day, is on February 2nd, the 33rd day of the year. If you think that's a coincidence, you're crazy. It's the PP and the 33.
Will come here, enjoy their 4th of July celebrations. It was a parade after.
Yeah, that's why I thought a wake is a gathering and celebration after a funeral. Yeah. That's why I didn't understand what the other thing was. Somebody saying about the wave.
Videos, you see the marching band just go by before those shots rang out, and this is something that's not just impacting Highland Park, but many of the neighboring communities, many of the neighboring towns have canceled their parades or have canceled their fireworks celebrations out of an abundance of caution when you listen to what officials in those different jurisdictions have to say. So this is not something that is just impacting a small town here. This is not the city of Chicago. This is not something that's just impacting a small town, but it's having an impact really across and throughout this entire region.
Yeah, it was their tradition. Give us a context of the time, what you saw when you first got on scene here, Shaq, and what you're seeing right now. And also the amount of law enforcement. I know at a certain point, even 5-6 hours in, they still had law enforcement on rooftop.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone in the comments section. I really appreciate everybody. Yeah, I see, you know, it's so funny. You guys are all like, you know, real good when it comes to my news videos. But when it comes to my more important videos, you guys suck.
In this safe area that they were looking at, in this focus area. Give us a sense of that arc of time.
Law enforcement on rooftops. You also saw many armored vehicles, SWAT vehicles here in this area as the manhunt was underway. I mean, the shooting happened about 10:15 this morning. In the immediate aftermath, that's where you had chaos, people rushing to hospitals. We heard stories of nurses, doctors who were in the parade, who are participating.
Yeah, you guys are a bunch of lukewarm, lazy bums. Just a bunch of bums, man.
Watching the parade who...
Not all of you, you know, some of you.
People who were off, who...
Actually, most of you. I meant there's some of you, a few of you who are not lazy bums.
Immediately, without even being called in, volunteering their time, rushing in to assist the...
Shut up, Shaquille. I can't forward it. That's all I can go.
We also heard from the president in Washington, D.C. talk about this. One thing that we know is Vice President Kamala Harris was actually scheduled to be in the Chicago area tomorrow. As far as we know from the White House, that trip is still on. She referenced that she was going to be in the Chicago area tomorrow. So we think that trip is still happening. It'll be an open question of whether or not she visits Highland Park. But this is something that, again, is not just getting the attention of...
We'll go back to that other recording I have. Let's see what they were saying.
The subject was taken into custody without incident.
Now, the arrest of the suspect capped off a massive hours-long manhunt across Chicago.
So isn't that interesting that there's no shootout in public? Do you get what I'm trying to say here? Notice that never happens. Because if this was a dude who just went on a shooting spree, is going to go to jail for the rest of his life, but yet he's not going to go, you know, go out in a blaze of glory. No, I'm just going to give up like a, you know. It's just so ridiculous, man.
that left communities on edge. You can see the car that the suspect was driving right here just moments after, as law enforcement was trying to find yet more potential evidence to find out if this person of interest was indeed the suspect and a person they could
You see that? They're trying to get the dog to work. The dog's like, come on, man. I know this is fake. I'm not going to sniff nothing. You sniff it, you damn liars. That's what the dog's saying to his handlers. Did you see that?
Some now disturbing video taking you back of the moments we believe the shooting began. You're going to hear the gunshots and see people fleeing in this. Take a look. Traumatizing for the people that were there, re-traumatizing folks that have maybe seen it already, as you just listened through that entire video. Again, police saying 6 people have been killed, and health officials report that at least 26 were hospitalized, 25 with gunshot wounds, ranging in age from 8 to 85. Joining us now, MSNBC correspondent Shaq Brewster, who is just feet away from the crime.
All right, folks, I'm coming to the end of the video here.
Screen there, not a suspect yet, but that.
I gotta end the video because my battery's dying anyway. I only got like 15% left. And that goes quick, the last 15%. Wait, who are these two? Who's that dude?
On cue for NBC, Shaq Brewster there in Highland Park. The lights coming right in, as you were saying. They have a lot of work to do tonight. Shaq, thank you so much for that. The very latest for us. Let's go to Jim Kavanaugh, retired AFT special agent in charge now, and MSNBC terrorism analyst Harry Lipman, former deputy assistant attorney general and former U.S. attorney who prosecuted gun.
Harry Lipman. That's who I knew. There's something fishy about that dude, Lipman. You know what this guy reminds me of? Because I haven't watched this guy in. I mean, I don't know much about him. But what's that one dude who supposedly predicted 9/11 and he was killed? What's his name? He wrote a book, something about a horse or something. I don't know what I can't remember his name. And they say he died or was killed or something. Bill Cooper. It reminds me of Bill Cooper. As an older man here. Yeah, Bill Cooper, that was it. I don't see, that's what I'm saying. I don't know Bill Cooper well enough to know if that's his face or not. Yeah, and don't forget, June 24th is 6/11 on the Julian calendar. We'll see what the final tally is. That's why I'm not really saying anything right now. Anyway, to anybody who missed the video, I mean, you know, I feel I'm not gonna leave it up, but you didn't really miss nothing. It was just me showing a bunch of news clips. But it was funnier earlier. This is not funny now. Because I'm tired now, you know what I mean? It's been 2 hours. I showed all the good stuff. And all the funny stuff. I'll do this again tomorrow. If I have time, because I have to go somewhere in the morning. I have to go get a, I don't need to tell you guys. Anyway, what is this? I'm a Morani Garcia.
family and just trying to enjoy the parade. And all of a sudden, we just heard a bunch of like shooting, and everybody started running and yelling. And, you know, it was just a scary thing. I got separated from him, and I ran with my daughter, and she was scared. I was trying to find a place to hide with her. I was scared of her.
No, I'm not getting no colonoscopy. Let me tell you something. I know they say that everyone, and my dad died from cancer, and he had colon cancer too, and my sister had it too. But I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna even bother. Let them kill me. I don't care. Let it kill me. I don't care. No, I've never gotten a colonoscopy, and I'm not going to.
And it was just crazy experience. You know, you don't expect it. You know, it's Highland Park, and nowadays you don't feel safe now anywhere.
And we are back with the breaking news coverage on the mass shooting in Highland Park, Illinois. At the bottom of the hour, the latest for a person of interest now in custody. NBC News reporter Ben Collins.
I played that earlier. I only got like a few. Oh, hold on, back up. They were showing the car. All right, folks, I'm going to end the video right here. This is the last thing I'm going to show because my battery's dying. So this is where they got him, they're saying.
You know, not a guy who wants to go down guns a-blazing, but who meekly surrenders and will be going to trial, unless he pleads out.
Harry Littman, Jim Kavanaugh, stay with us. Ben Collins, thank you so much.
Look at that. They got camera of this, and yet they don't show it. Can you believe this, man? These people are just vile, man. Absolute vile.
We may hear charges coming down the next 12 hours, according to Harry Littman. We'll dig into that right after a short break, right here on MSNBC.
Absolute BS, man. Absolute BS. All right, I got to end the video, folks.
The south side of the street, which
I just want to see those Jews run one more time. Are they going to play the music?
hoping to have a nice 4th of July parade in this suburb that is...
No, they're not playing the music. Forget it. All right, folks. I'll see you guys tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon. Yeah, to everybody who was here earlier, I was more funnier, but late in the video, I had nothing to say because I showed everything already. Anyway, God bless everybody, and I appreciate everybody, and I'll see you guys as soon as I can. All right, take care. End the video.